From the Storm Team 8 Tracking Center, this is a severe weather alert.
Now at 6, severe weather in West Michigan, a strong line of storms powering through our area tonight.
An elementary school at Muskegon Orchard View damaged by this storm. Classes will be canceled there tomorrow. And look at this, a giant tree down on a home on Fairbanks Avenue in Kalamazoo. We're told everyone was able to get out safely. We'll get updates from both of those scenes in just moments.
And there are now thousands without power tonight. 2 clear lines of outages, one stretching from Muskegon to Saginaw, the other from South Haven to Battle Creek. The biggest concentration of outages is in Kalamazoo County tonight, where some 15,000 customers are now in the dark.
Storm Team 8 has been on the air and on woodtv.com, bringing you live updates all afternoon to help keep you safe. Our coverage continues now with Chief Meteorologist Ellen Baca.
Yeah, and you could really see those storms coming into Muskegon and then also near the I-94 corridor there, and both of them were especially strong. Muskegon, wouldn't be surprised if we saw some hail reports still trickling from viewers, but the rounds that came through the Kalamazoo area produced some wind gusts as high as 69 miles per hour. That line of storms is now pushed into Calhoun County. It's approaching places like Jackson and Napoleon, and so the severe thunderstorm warnings attached to that go until 6:30, but that's going to continue off to the east at a quick clip, moving at about 55 miles per hour. We still have a bit of strong weather that's associated with this line that's still moving into portions of West Michigan. So while this system moves out to spots like Bunker Hill and Watervliet, we're going to continue to focus our eyes on this batch near Benton Harbor. You can see some green underneath the radar. That's indicating some flooding conditions for spots like New Buffalo. These are some soakers, and it's hitting a round that has already been hit before. So tracking some of these showers and storms like the one that's moving through Benton Harbor has a little bit of a northeasterly kind of pull to it. Should be headed towards Watervliet at 6:10 or so, Hartford 6:16, Decatur 6:26. Right now, no severe thunderstorm warnings attached to this line, but it does look like it could produce a quick batch of localized flooding. Hail was the problem earlier today. We saw some huge hail reports. Matt Kirkwood's here now to talk about some of the reports that we've seen.
Yeah, and typically Michigan doesn't receive many big hail reports, so we certainly wanted to get you update just how big they were. And interesting how this line kind of morphed into, instead of hail, more of a wind event down around I-94, which Ellen just mentioned. Okay, let's take a look at some of the graphics too, if we could, and some of the reports throughout lower Michigan and also Wisconsin and northeastern portions of Illinois. We haven't had a lot of severe weather this year, but this is certainly one of those days. This is a measurement of 2.5-inch diameter hail in the Baldwin area. That's tennis ball size, and that's highly rare across Michigan. Here's some other reports, and that was not the only one. Colfax in northeastern Oceana County, also 2.5 inches. Cadillac, 2 inches. And Reed City, as you work your way south, about 1 3/4 in Ludington, a little over 1 inch in diameter. Keep in mind, severe hail is considered anything an inch or more. So once you get up to that 2-inch range, that's very impressive. Okay, here's the progression, the futurecast. This is what we call a high-resolution model. And if you're wondering when these storms will finally exit, I think sometime right around 10 o'clock for extreme southeastern portions of our viewing area. Once they do, though, we ought to quickly go into the clearing, and it should be a fairly nice day tomorrow. Really some nice days in the 8-day forecast, which Ellen's going to have more on that later.
All right, Matt, Ellen, thank you. Let's get live now to the damage. Cardinal Elementary School at Muskegon Orchard View badly damaged this afternoon, and kids were in the building and they had to take shelter. No one was hurt, but school will be closed tomorrow.
News 8's Jacqueline Francis is there live now. Jacqueline, what can you tell us?
Sue and Brian, you just have to take a look around to see the sheer force of these storms that rolled through here at Cardinal Elementary School. We've got downed trees and branches scattered everywhere, piling up against these classroom windows, which, as Brian said, students and staff were inside at the time the storm hit. They were seeking shelter, but you can see just how close these storms and all of this debris came to those classrooms. Again, the superintendent tells us that no one was injured and that the only areas of the school that were really affected there was some damage to the roof that was above the cafeteria and the gym, which no students or staff were inside at the time. They say that the storm peeled back part of that roof, so there was some subsequent flooding and water damage that got into the school area, and for that reason, they did call off school for tomorrow. They're hoping to have the elementary school back up and running by Thursday, but it's still too soon to say for sure. When we were talking to the superintendent, he said he's just relieved of how well everything went given these circumstances.
We do have water in our gymnasium. We have water in our cafeteria in some portions of a hallway. But for the most part, students were not anywhere near that damage or near that water. Students, we have procedures in place when there's bad weather, poor weather, and students knew how to react to that. And we put students in safe areas of the building until the storm passed through.
The power is also out across the street. We were talking to some homeowners over there who were cleaning up the damage, so they're also waiting to get the power back on, hopefully tonight, but we'll continue to keep you guys updated. For now, reporting live in Muskegon, Jacqueline Francis, News 8.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Now to Kalamazoo. News 8's David Horak is live, where a tree is down on a home on Fairbanks Avenue. David?
Run out there, or partially, they can run out there.
Well, Brian and Sue, I got to tell you what, the Kalamazoo County was not spared at all in this storm, and just look at the damage here left behind by this particular line, and that is a tree that is at least 6 feet across in length at the trunk, crashing down on this two-story home here at the corner of Fairbanks Court and Hinsdale Place. We did talk to KDPS, and thankfully every single person inside this house was not only safe, but also they were not hurt at all. And it goes to show just how extensive the damage was, as you see some of the footage of the damage that this storm had on various properties. In fact, if you look over to the right here, you're going to see a lightning strike also take another tree down, and it crashed a fence that is along the back here. And we did speak with family members who were concerned about that particular tree at this home crashing down on their porch, especially in extreme weather situations like this. But again, the underlying tone, as Jacqueline said about the school, no one was hurt at all around here. But it goes to show that Mother Nature is not playing around. We're in Kalamazoo. David Horak, News 8. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, David, thank you. That was a huge tree, too. Now is a good time to make sure that you have our Storm Teammate weather app to get severe weather alerts and live radar sent right to your devices. It's free to download in your app store.